So, hello everyone. Thanks for coming to my talk. I called it an American Horror Story because I figured it would hook people to come watch my talk. But it was a crazy, fast dash procedure to get a notification system up that used HTML email and do it within a month based on our customer specifications. So I'll go ahead and explain more about that. So this is going to be first disclaimer. This is an interesting talk. I thought my boss was going to be here, but he's not. And so the Halloween theme I thought would scare him, but please don't fire me. It was an interesting project, just doing that to keep people interested. Okay, so if I wouldn't be, my feelings aren't hurt if this isn't interesting to you, but I'm going to do like a bit of an in-depth discussion on how we developed a custom email notification system for our customers, the Department of Education. And then the second part, I'm going to talk about how to set up HTML email notifications getting sent from your site, regardless of what your email notification system is. And if we have time, if you're interested, why don't we talk about Drupal 6 and Drupal 7 in-place upgrades? Because that was actually part of this project as well, but not part of this talk. And then we're going to make things spooky, so look out. All right, so what we used as part of this project is organic groups for the website itself, and also, by the way, all of my slides are posted on my talk. So if you go to there and you open up the slides, you can also download them as a PDF if you want to. So you don't have to write anything down if you don't want, but feel free. We're also going to use, raise hands, anybody use organic groups module here? Okay. All right. HTML mail module, mail my module, mail system module, Drush. How many people have used Drush here? Nobody. Okay. Well, I think you probably in every presentation you went to today, probably somebody said Drush is great, you should use it. I agree with that. So it's amazing for doing backups or downloading modules without having to deal with zip files or RAR files or anything. So, and then we'll talk a little bit about Drupal Commons because we use that. Does anybody use that distro? Okay. All right. And then as far as the Drupal APIs, we use entity, database, and queue, and I'll get more in depth in a second. So before I get any farther, I'll talk about who I am. My name is Sean Wilson. I'm a software developer. My boss who couldn't make it today is Mike Broyles. We both worked on this email notification system, and we work for a company called Quotient. We're in Columbia, but we have positions all over the DC area, so we're hiring. I hear Toyota has a boat, but everybody gets a submersible amphibious tank when you get hired, so I'd look into it. All right. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about where we started from and then where we went. So originally when we began, we had a Drupal 6 website using Drupal Commons. So in Drupal 6, that's Drupal Commons 2. Drupal 7, there's a version called Drupal Commons 3. It's for a website called the Department of Education Communities of Practice. So what a community of practice is just a group of people who work in the same industry or same area, and they want to share best practices with each other and help each other improve. So that's what it looks like. That's amazing. Please don't applaud. And so it's standard site, but the meat of the website was within the groups because we have several different communities of practice. So you can see here we have a group that does English language learning, a group that does assessment. They talk about assessments. A group that talks about college standards. So each group is a community of practice. Is a group of practitioners in adult education who work with each other to discuss different controversial topics or best practices. So if we go into a group, so each of these groups is actually a different organic group. That's how Drupal Commons does things, and that's how we do things on our Drupal 7 site. So this site is now Drupal 7, and I'll talk about. We went from D6 Drupal Commons 2 to our own D7 site, not using Drupal Commons 3. But it looks very similar to Drupal Commons, the old version, Drupal Commons 2. So, I mean, so here's a group, and you'll notice the tabs at the top for the different types of content. You know, here's a list of basically what are forum posts in this community, in this group, and you know, so you can go to any topic, and you know, if you're interested about college and career readiness standards, I know we all are. You know, you can go ahead and add a comment or take part in the discussion. So, so the people who use the site, as I said, are teachers and educators. You know, they like the current UI, but they wanted something that's a little more simple. And we have about 10,000 people on the site. So those are active user accounts, not blocked. Okay, so so what did we have to do? Well, the first thing we had to do was migrate the site to Drupal 7 because, you know, 6 is on its way out, and obviously that's not really the scope of this talk. But you know, as part of that, you know, well, they wanted to maintain similar functionality as they had in Drupal Commons 2 because, you know, people don't like websites to change on them, and where did you move everything? So, so we tried installing Drupal Commons 3. It's got a quite different user interface than 2. And something that was a real pain point for us was that the notification system was quite different. So Drupal 6, the Drupal Commons 2 uses the notifications modules. So notifications, notifications digest, and I forget the rest of notification subscriptions. And then there's also a, in D7, Drupal Commons 3 uses the messages module stack. So you've got message, I think now there's message digest. Yeah, so the so here's kind of the different interfaces that you'd see in Commons 2 versus Commons 3. So this is what a normal user would see when they went to the notification system on Drupal Commons 2, and they're used to getting, you know, man, I'm bad at this. I was supposed to tell you that, you know, when you're in a group and new content is created in that group, you get email notifications. And so as you can see here, you know, I'm subscribed to get a Twice Daily Digest for content that's in the Youth and Adult Pathways group. So as you can see, so you can choose whether you want to get, you know, immediate notifications, you know, Twice Daily Digests, which include a little bit of information for everything that's happened on the site that day, or within 12 hours, and something similar to Twice Daily Digest, a Daily Digest. So these happen every 12 hours, and these get sent every 24 hours. So as you can see, you know, it is a little bit maybe hard to use. So you can deactivate your subscription if you're going on vacation. You can reactivate when you come back. You can delete your subscription. You can change the frequency or interval of how you get it, and then you can subscribe to like anything on the site. So our users were getting overloaded, and they were like, I don't really know what I subscribe to, and why are there hundreds of things on this page? So then we took a look at Commons 3. It's a lot simpler, but maybe too simple. So we've got, they've filtered things out. You know, groups you can subscribe to, other content you have, people you follow, and then there's just one checkbox here. You know, do you want to get email or not? And if there's no, do you want to get email at a particular frequency? It's just, do you want to get an immediate notification? And this was, we started this project in August of 2013. So this is Drupal Commons at that point. So it may have been updated since then. I haven't really looked into that. But if anybody has any thoughts, it'd be great to hear. Okay. So anyway, you know, we basically talked to the customer, and they were saying this isn't going to cut it. We need a different type of notification system. So we went back to the drawing board and then said, okay, well, I guess, you know, we'll have to go back to the drawing board and do our own notification system. So what do we need for our system? Obviously, we need to respond to the user desires I mentioned earlier. Similar solution to what we had in Drupal Commons 6, but people still want to get digest emails, but they don't. But they don't want all those options. It's too much, and because they don't know how to change their options, they don't know how to disable the emails they're getting. We also need a performance solution. I mean, obviously, if it takes 12 hours to get all the emails out when one new post was created in their group, then that's not going to help us. And they also wanted it to be user-friendly, and that means having HTML-based emails so that emails look pretty in your Gmail client or your Outlook or whatever email client you use. Okay, so what are the challenges of this? Obviously, working with email is a challenge. Specifically testing it. Working with HTML-based email is even harder because you have to make it look nice across operating systems, browsers, and email clients. I mean, think about it. Android, iPhone, in-browser, Outlook, Thunderbird. So you just have to test it everywhere and make sure it looks good. And then we had a whole month to just do the notification system. So I mean, we had more time for the upgrade, but we also have to respond to user requests. So there's a lot on our plate. So everyone's familiar with the the project management triangle. Quality, time, and money. So you can have something done good, cheap, or fast, and